Hi, I'm Prue MacSween. I hate work and I hate PC. You ain't going to get any of that out of me.
Hello, I'm Craig Bennett. You should caught me clutching the smelling salts and sipping some champagne. I do love a little bit of gossip. I also love delving into other people's problems, which is probably why I'm in this box.
Hi, I'm Amanda Rose. I'm a founder, an advocate, and definitely a straight shooter.
Hi, I'm former celebrity Joe Hilderbrand, and I'm here to tell you that I've got a podcast and also solve all your problems.
As a former senator, I always know that I know best. I'm Hollie Hughes and so excited to be part of Booty and the Beast.
And I'm TV and radio presenter Rob McKnight, a former senator, a former celebrity. I'm a former nobody. Do you need help? Do you need advice? Well, you've come to the right place. Booty and the Beast is here to make the world better, one letter at a time. Do we succeed? Not often, but we'll have a lot of fun along the way. Prue has our first letter of the day.
Thanks, Rob. Well, this is from Sarah in Launceston. Our 18-year-old daughter is now out of school and has found a job and has never given us any grief. But the problem is she wants to get tattoos. We're trying to tell her that this is a fad and a tat is there for life, but she's insistent and wants a tat of a naked female body with some body parts named. Now, we're horrified.
Go with it.
I have a fairly good idea her lesbian friend has put her up to it. My daughter's straight and won't accept that not all men are attracted to tats. This is becoming a real issue for us, and I need to know how else I can talk her out of this. Well, Sarah, for a start, I don't reckon she's straight. I reckon she's a full-blown dyke. And the fact that she thinks that she needs to name body parts is a real worry. Doesn't she know what a breast is, a fanny is, a backside is? I mean, if she's going to be having sex with people who need pointers to body parts, then you've got a much bigger problem with your daughter. And what I do is show her a few tats of some really old people with faded old dreary tats, and maybe she'll wake up to herself.
Craigie, you and I live on the Gold Coast. Tats are a way of life up here, aren't they?
So are absolutely massive lips and breasts that run across suburbs. You know, it all happens here on the Gold Coast, does it? Sarah, I'm rolling my sleeves up for this one. As I said, love, she's 18, she's got a job, she's paying her own tax, she can do what the heck she wants to do. However unsavoury and horrific this might be to you. You know, tats aren't necessarily permanent. They can be removed. I'm gathering from your letter you love your daughter deeply, but you seem to be a sneering control freak from where I'm sitting, assuming her lesbian friend put her up to this. You must be absolutely, you must be sighing relief that your daughter is apparently straight, though, and with Prue, you just never know. So is spaghetti till you get it into hot water. Let's not make the remark that not all men are attracted to women with tats. Similarly, not all men find a girlfriend's overbearing, hideous mother appealing as well. And that's the category I put you in. But water always finds its own level, love. Right, wrong, or otherwise, she learns her life lessons from making mistakes.
This is a matter of just the wrong audience here. Like, if there is anyone who needs directions to female body parts, it's men. The lesbians have got it all figured out. They're fine. They know what's going on. They've got one of their own. It's the blokes who actually need the direction, the pointers, you know, maybe even the names. If we get to that, that's probably for the last sort of oral exam. But I think just, you know your market.
Amanda,
I think
how many tats have you got under there?
none. So I don't even have my ears pierced, right?
Wow.
So I'm that person. But the thing is, you know, she's an adult. She's an 18-year-old girl paying her way. And the thing is, if you want to convince your child or, you know, at any age to do something, the approach that she's taken is definitely not the way to go about it. You know, you've got to build a relationship, have respect, have mutual respect. But these days, you can remove them. I know so many people that are getting tattoos removed now with ease, like, you know, it's accessible now. So if she doesn't like it in a couple of years' time and realizes I've made a mistake or I just don't like it anymore, she can remove it. But if you go too over the top, you've got to pick your battles. If you go too over the top, you're pretty much going to push her away.
Hollie, that's good advice, isn't it?
Look, my advice, Sarah, as the fellow mother of an 18-year-old girl, I've been working on this for years. I'm a little bit worried you've adopted your strategy a bit late. I've been working on my kids for years that tattoos are so common now that you'd actually make more of a mark by not branding yourself with all this ridiculous ink. So I think you may have left your run a little bit late if she's coming to you now, but she is coming to you. And I think it's really important. One of the things I think if you have a tattoo, it should be somewhere potentially quite private so that it's something for you, not necessarily to be on full display. But I also think you should have some long, hard thinks about where you put them, because as you tend to age, those lovely firm arms that you have tend to sag a little the more time in the tuck shop you spend. If you decide to have children and you've had a little tat down towards the edge of the belly, it may no longer resemble what you originally had tattooed. And unfortunately, as we are the booties here, the booty does not always stay the same size, my love. So perhaps give your daughter a few life lessons as to how her body may evolve, and what may start as a rather lovely petite little tattoo may end up as some sort of large smudge across an inappropriate part of her body.
Yes, like the cute little
do it like a sort
butterfly.
of Mad magazine folding where you get the,
Yes.
I think the solution here is very simple. Just tell her you will get whatever tattoo she has, and you will be happy to show it off. You will match her tattoo. For more Booty and the Beasts content, join us on social media. We're on Instagram and TikTok at Booty and the Beasts AU. Our next letter is from a lady who has a dirty little secret. So who better than Joe to bring us this one? I'm sure it won't embarrass him at all. Joe?
Thanks, Rob. Yes, this next letter is from someone who wants to see me instantly cancelled and destroy my career for all eternity. My husband bought me a dryer for my birthday. That's very romantic, isn't it? He wants to wall mount it above my washing machine, as he says it's the best place for it to go. There are so many double entendres here, I don't know where to start. But if he does that, I will have to stop my dirty little secret. I will no longer be able to sit on my washing machine and enjoy the spin cycle. He has no idea this is the best part of my sex life. I think it does, actually. How can I stop him from mounting the dryer when all I want to do is mount my washer? Advice from Barbara from Mount Gambier. Well, I'm on the next bus to Mount Gambier. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there, and not just
Wow.
in the washing machine and newly delivered dryer. But I would say your husband probably knows that, you know, if the spin cycle is going on for longer than, you know, last night's AFL game, he's probably been outdone.
Hollie, simple solution, vibrator?
Possibly. I mean, I'm still kind of back at the fact she got a dryer for her birthday. I mean, I know it's all
It's not even
It's not a present.
state of this relationship. I mean, the fact that she got a dryer might be an indication of why she needs to sit on the washing machine. But look, honestly, perhaps a vibrator. I mean, my dryer is on top of my washing machine, not having ever experienced or even attempted her favourite pastime, but it is very convenient to put the laundry from one to the other up and down. So I think he's making perfect sense, but I think the fact that the dryer was the birthday present and she feels the need to mount the washing machine, there's bigger issues at play.
I think that's a fair point. Craig, when I hear getting on top of the washing machine, it sounds like something from a 1950s housewife. Hard to think it's still going on today.
Well, I got to tell you, Rob, this is absolutely uncanny, because I was having a deep and meaningful with a very close friend the other day. TV legend, 7-time Logie winner, cop shop, if that rings a bell. She told me she gets her jollies.
Come on.
That sounds like, there you go. she told me that she gets her jolly sitting on her old washing machine when it's rattling through its spin cycle. She sits right on the edge, and this dirty little secret of hers goes all the way back to when she was a schoolgirl, and she was doing it in front of the nuns, jiggling away like that as it kind of does its thing. So here's the thing. Your husband wants to wall mount the washing machine, right? You want to mount the washing machine. Does he want to mount you, or do you want to mount him? There just seems to be so many questions, and I've got to say, I'm coming up short for answers. But I do have a dryer on the wall out there. I could see maybe that could come in handy. And I know where your minds are at. You're now thinking, who in Pop Shop won 7 Logies, went to school with the nuns, and gets her kicks, her jollies, whatever, flops, her mop and coconuts, her Lamington, on her washing machine?
I'm being told truth is a defence in defamation, so it might be.
Oh, no, she'll talk about it. You know, people thought that she had worms because she was itching down there. No, she was giving herself a jolly when she was about 6.
Oh,
I thought she might have had an irritation from the detergent.
I'm telling you now, I am never buying a second-hand washing machine ever in my life.
Well, they say your call is important to us, but it doesn't feel that way, does it? It turns out I'm not the only one who's frustrated waiting on hold. Isn't that right, Hollie?
Oh, absolutely, Rob. We've got a letter here from Tina in Applecross. Dear Booties and Beasts, I get frustrated when I ring a business and have to press several options on the phone, enter IDs, passwords, etc. on a menu before I get to speak to the right department and eventually the right person. Then, after already entering all those details, I have to repeat them verbally to the person who takes my call anyway. Is it just me, or are most people over the system? Can't we just revert to somebody who answers the call, can speak English, and immediately puts you through to the right person? Well, here, Tina. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? I mean, the fact of the matter is, trying to remember all those passwords is one thing, and I think most of us have absolutely no idea what they are. But the other thing that gets me, when you ring up to pay a bill, they want all those details. Quite frankly, if anyone wants to pay my bill, feel free to ring up and just tell them. I don't see why you need to give all your personal details to actually give them money. But I must say, when I first went on maternity leave, we had a problem with our Telstra bill, and I'm going back about 18, 19 years now, and I had 7 hours on the phone to Telstra trying to fix everything that was wrong between my husband's business bill, our personal bill, transporting my mobile number. But quite frankly, the only reason I could do it was I was fat and pregnant and it was stinking hot and I could lie on the lounge in the air conditioning and wait for the right person to get on and for them to go and do things. For the everyday person out there is no time for this. It's insanity. They make it too hard. And when you try to cancel a service, it's almost impossible. But keep that trick up your sleeve, because if you press the cancel the service button, let me tell you, you'll get onto the best person as quickly as possible.
And Hollie, can you just repeat what you said, followed by the hash key?
Amanda, I can't bear it. I cannot bear it when they ask you to put in details, and then the moment you get a human, which has been a long time later, they ask you for all those details again. It just feels like they are trying to make you busy while you're on hold.
Oh, look, it's the most frustrating thing, and I've been there myself. And Hollie's right. You know, as soon as you say you're going to cancel a service, they're all of a sudden, oh, are you okay? What can we do to help you? But also, it's the same if you call up, tell them you want to buy something from them, and instantly you get put through to someone as well. So you've got to know the way around it. But you know what's kind of scary is that that's all going to disappear soon, and you won't be speaking to a human at all, because you're going to have AI doing all of this. They're working very hard to automate absolutely everything. So imagine how frustrating it's going to be when you're pressing those buttons, putting in that information, and you will never be able to speak to a human being again.
That is pretty scary, Craig, especially considering you love a chat.
Oh, and I get scared by absolutely everything, Rob. There's something else to be terrified about. I want to say, Tina, look, the horrors of 2025 in a modern world, darling. I go back to when they had plastic strips on the back door to keep the flies out, darling. So I understand what it's like. Back in the days when people picked up the old Bakelite phone, you just spoke into that horn, and it was lovely. Can you not solve your issues online, I'm wondering? I know the spelling of your name has two E's, so you're not absolutely ancient. So maybe you can kind of, cut out the long waits online and maybe just solve these issues online if you can. If not, well, that's absolute.
Yeah, but Craig, when you do that and you type in, it takes them 5 minutes to answer because you've got one person dealing with like 20 people and it takes them so long
but it's
to
the
respond.
bot. A lot of the time, that's a bot that's responding to you. It's an algorithm that's responding to you online. And if they don't get exactly what you want, it's very frustrating to go round and around.
Oh, gee,
I like to just save time, cut out the middleman. I just fly to the Philippines and just talk.
holiday, Joe.
Well, the days of customer service are gone. It's an old-fashioned concept, isn't it? And which is really sad. I actually think that if someone had the nous and opportunity and bank balance to be able to go back to people answering phones, people being in the shop to actually assist you, we may go off the online buying. We may actually want to go and visit shops and companies and really maybe we'll get to a stage where people are wanting to seek out brands that offer this unique concept, and we may find it's a new thing, but it's really frustrating. I absolutely am with you, Tina. I just want to kill something, normally myself, after I sit for hours on a phone.
Well, Prue, it's interesting you say that because you're talking about online shopping. Here's my rule. If you can buy a product or a subscription online, you have to be able to cancel it online. How many companies force you to ring up if you want to cancel a subscription service you took out online, and they make it so hard? If you want to use the online services, you've got to make it easy to end it on the online services.
Yep.
In the modern world, being in a relationship often means inheriting their kids as well, and that can lead to some problems. Speaking of which, Craig has our next letter.
Indeed, I do, in my hot little hand, no more. Dear Bertie and the Beast, this comes from frustrated second wife, Lindy from Surfers Paradise. Oh, I wonder if I know you, Lindy. You just never know. She writes, I'm at my wits' end. I absolutely adore my husband, and we have had the most amazing 4 years together. The only problem is his son. It is the only issue we ever fight about. He keeps telling me his son's brain hasn't finished forming. But at 25, I think he should be way more responsible. Recently, he has written off our car, driving over the alcohol limit, and that has now cost us legal fees. We are also concerned that there are some mental health issues, so we now have psychiatrist costs ahead of us. My husband gets really upset when I see it in terms of dollars, but it's getting ridiculous, and I feel like we are being taken for a ride by an indulged, irresponsible young man who should know better. Lindy, I do feel as though I know you. I feel there could almost be a psychic connection here. Anyway, Hollie, Lindy, what a jam. I don't say, at 25, why are you and your husband funding your stepson's legals? There is a question. If he's old enough to legally drink, then he's old enough to be responsible for his actions and therefore to pay his own way. In his case, not only did he get drunk, did he drive drunk, could have imperiled other people, but he wrote off your car. Does this not now have some kind of huge dilemma with regard to your insurance? If you are fearing he does have mental health issues, then obviously that needs to be addressed post-haste. And as with regards to your husband, who is kind of getting a little bit cross with you, thinking that you're only seeing this in terms of dollars, well, it is in terms of dollars. They're your dollars, and those dollars are going to help somebody over their incredible irresponsibility. What an awful situation. If I were you, I would dole out one great big sloppy serving of tough love, honey. I really would, and good luck with that.
Well, firstly, can I just say, please, firstly, Lindy, I'm 49, not 25, and you will find out when, I don't know if you know this about the male brain, but it doesn't finish developing until the point of death. And so when your stepson actually grows up, finishes writing off all the cars, finishes getting drunk, finishes wasting all your money and throwing it all away, that will be roughly about, and I don't want to use too much scientific jargon here, about the time he carks it. So I think you just need to learn to live with the strange species of humankind that we call men, because that's just what they're like.
Prue,
right.
it gets hard as the stepmom, doesn't it? Because you're interfering with things that have long been established, and especially it does become harder if there are mental health issues.
Well, that's right. Look, I think what Joe says 100%, that at 25, in fact, at 85, the mental brain has not been matured.
I agree.
Which is quite sad. But look, this is the dilemma that she is the stepmom because, you know, the child hasn't been raised properly from the start. He's been indulged. Clearly, there is something much from a start, the fact that he was indulged and obviously didn't understand the concept of no and taking some personal responsibility. But now that there are mental health issues, you don't know if that's, I mean, it seems that mental health issues are being used by many people. Now, I'm not underscoring in any way how mental health is a major issue these days, particularly in the young, but I really think that there is some reason that we really need to understand about personal responsibility. And this young man needs a quick lesson in that. And I think that while I understand your tenuous situation where you are the stepmom and you love your husband and you don't want to create problems, but when you're starting to have impacts on your income, I think then you have every right to stand up and say, no, enough is enough.
Hollie, what do you make of this situation?
Well, I'm a mum and a stepmom, and my kids have a stepmom, and it is awfully difficult bringing blended families together. I'd be really interested to know where the mother is in this circumstance. I think sometimes there's always one parent that seems to carry the burden much heavier than the others. I think you need to set very clear boundaries as to what the end point is. And that's going to be really, really hard because when it's your own children and you have that emotional connection, it's much harder to see where those endpoints are going to be. But it sounds like an absolutely horrible situation. And hopefully your husband sort of does start to get an understanding that the financial impacts are real and that there does have to be a line in the sand at some point.
Amanda, bring us home on this. Do you think the stepmom has a point?
I think she does. And just because you set boundaries doesn't mean you don't care. And I think in this instance, it's like, hey, buddy, yes, we're married, but it's your son. So you pay for this. You deal with it. I'm available if you want to talk about it or to assist, but financially it should be kept separate. I don't think she should be paying for this. And I think when she hands over the responsibility completely to the father, which it should be, and like Hollie said, also the mother, he might change his view. I think because she could end up being an enabler in this by constantly assisting, trying to keep the relationship with her husband because it's fresh and new in some ways, that she'll end up saying, oh, it's okay, and kind of accountability goes out the window. So be a person you can come to for advice or for support. But when you start mixing finances, as a woman, you need your financial independence and you need to protect it at all costs.
I checked out as soon as Amanda said, I'm available.
Life can be complicated, and nothing is more complicated than a relationship, as we've already heard today. Our next letter writer has found their relationship has become very complicated. Amanda has the details.
Whew. This one, very interesting. So it's from Sarah from Tasmania, good old Tassie. Dear B&B, my partner and I are 21. We've known each other since school and we've been dating for the last 3 years. I've since worked out that the only reason why I'm with him is because I'm more attracted to his single father. Even when we have sex, I'm thinking about his father. How do I break up with my boyfriend and lure his father? Now, I'm not sure. Look, you're 21, sweetheart, and you're young, but let me inform you of one of the most dangerous creatures on this planet is a divorced man in his 40s, right? And so what you don't want is to go near him with a 10-foot pole, right? You are young, you are naive, you think he's masculine, he's not, he's desperate, he's a flatterer, and he will use you and spit you out. In fact, your 21-year-old boyfriend, the son, deserves better if you're doing that. So you do need to break up with him whether you go for his father or not. But let me tell you, if you do, it will come back and bite you on the butt, right? You will enjoy the first couple of weeks, but then after a while you realise the baggage that comes with that man is too much to bear.
Look, do you know, flashing back to the previous letter, imagine if she actually got together with the father and then her ex-boyfriend became her stepson.
Oh, goodness me.
And the kinkiness there.
In such
But
a...
imagine family dinners. I mean, I know it's Tasmania and there might be some broad
Hollie.
events close next to jump on it all.
Mainland thing to say.
Such a mainlander thing to say, I know. But I mean, it's just icky and horrific. And honestly, break up with this poor boy whose father you're fantasizing about and go away for a little while. And if you come back in a few years and you still think the father's going to rock your world, well, fair enough. But to jump from one to the other, I think is just really quite sick.
He won't rock your world. He'll take you to rock bottom, though, I tell you that.
Yeah, look, I'm not divorced yet, but after this episode airs, so I look forward to hooking up with Amanda and then having her take out a restraining order.
I think, Prue, I think Amanda has got some baggage there.
Well,
I don't have the baggage, but I have the baggage.
yeah, exactly.
Can I just say, just purely from a kind of patriotic perspective, I'm not sure if, writing in about going out with a son but secretly being in love with the father is the best advertisement for Tasmania. I thought we'd moved on from that. You're about to get an AFL stadium. You don't need to keep it all in the family anymore, guys. Coming out. Mistake now.
The thing is, what you've got to worry about is when you're 40, he's going to be 60. And a lot of old blokes then have, underpants that have every body fluid on them. They're looking for someone to look after them, and wash them, so go and expand your life a little bit. Come to the mainland and we'll fix you.
Well, you know what? I'm listening to all of this and I'm thinking this is like some overwrought plot from The Bold and the Beautiful. If you're thinking of your boyfriend's father, this is how I'm wrapping my head around this letter, when you're in the midst of a carnal ditsy doodle, a bedroom rodeo, you need to call this farce of a romance off honey lickety split. Too many people are going to get hurt here, honestly. And I'm wiggling my finger at you, see that I really am. How awful that this guy you went to school with has kind of been hoodwinked into thinking you absolutely love him.
Yeah.
And there he is going up and down on you like an oil derrick or whatever it might be. And your mind is out there thinking about his father. So it sounds quite simply like he's a pawn in your rather creepy game of nab the single dad. I mean, the whole thing is just absolutely extraordinary. No wonder some of us on this particular panel drink.
Just about all of us. It's really simple here. If the shoe was on the other foot, how would you feel? If your boyfriend wanted to get with your mother, how would you feel? If you think that's okay,
Exactly.
then I was going to say go for it, but no, don't go for it. It's not right. And that's coming from...
Actually, a lot of videos online that demonstrate what happens when that takes place.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Booty and the Beast. Did you learn something? Have we solved your problems? Well, this panel are the ones that made it happen. Or maybe they didn't. I don't know. Panel, thank you very much for being with us. We'll see you soon on Booty and the Beasts. Bye-bye.